The country's power crisis has affected economic growth.
We continuously see the disheartening effects of the power cuts on all of us, from schools to hospitals to homes.
South Africa. The country is facing its worst ever power crisis as it heads into a bitter southern hemisphere winter with daily blackouts of up to 10 hours a day.
South Africa and Nigeria are failing the citizens in the power test. On today's episode, we'll be talking about two powerful African countries. I'm talking about the one that has the wires but no fuel, and the other country has the fuel but no wires. But before I continue, do well to like, share and comment. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Solid Finance Podcast, for more finance contents from us. In the world of African economics, we're told about two great countries, Nigeria and South Africa. The giants of the West, the king of gas, and a country that has over 200 million entrepreneurs. Nigeria. While South Africa is the industrial powerhouse, the gateway for global investment, and the most sophisticated grid in the continent. As at today, these two countries are complaining about the electricity issues.
Is 65 million in population and they generate 60,000 megawatts electricity. Now, Nigeria is estimated to be more than 250 million, let's just say 200 million, and we are generating only 5,000 megawatts electricity. The question is, who do us like this? Are we still the giant of Africa? Now, let me explain. In case you don't know, since 2023 that Bola Ahmed Tinubu took over under this umbrella of APC, so the first 2023, they generated 4,100 megawatts. In 2024, they generated 5,528 megawatts. And in 2025, they generated 5,040 something, around that figure. Now, in 2026, that we expected everything to get better. Now, it is reducing. The giant of Africa is generating only 5,000 megawatts electricity. Now, let me tell you the impact of lack of electricity in our economy. Practically every business in Nigeria depends on electricity.
That is simply a Nigerian who is complaining about the light issues in Nigeria. As light as electricity issues might sound, it is affecting our personal lives, our businesses, and our schools. Before, we used to complain about darkness, but as at today, the roles have switched. We're now put in a spot where we have to choose between food and electricity. The funny part is, we're looking at two African countries that generate light but prefer to export the light to other countries, thereby leaving their citizens in darkness. If you're among those people tampering with your meters, doing illegal connections to avoid payment of complete electricity bills, you should deviate from that way and you should change. That is because if you are being caught, you're going to face deep penalties from the law.
Some people are being told that they are tampering with the electricity meters, but they didn't. This is happening to more South Africans than you think. People are getting cut off and fined thousands of rands just for suspected meter tampering. In one case, residents were told to pay 73,000 rand just to get reconnected. But here's the scary part. Some of these cases might be wrong. One man went away for 3 months, loaded his meter with electricity. When he came back, his meter was removed and his electricity access was gone. So why? Because his low usage made it look like tampering. Another issue, power surges and outages can trigger false tamper alerts, and sometimes you could be blamed for tampering done by previous occupants. Now here's what you need to know. If you're accused of tampering, you have rights. You can demand an official inspection report from the
Because of the illegal bypass and illegal tampering with the meter, the African government has taken it upon themselves to be very strict with those who are being caught trying to bypass the meter. And if you're a Nigerian, the penalty for bypassing the meter is very great and you wouldn't want to be in that position as you'll suffer. In 2026, the crackdown involves load deduction. That is, if a neighborhood has numerous illegal connections or numerous illegal bypasses, that area will be punished. They are either cut off from light for years or they are asked to pay outrageous fines. In Nigeria, under the 2023-2026 Act, if you are caught bypassing your meter, you're looking at 3 years imprisonment or a fine of about 500,000 naira and above. That's not the only problem. Most schools are suffering as they are in the dark. In 2026 alone, it has been recorded in South Africa that over 20% of students have lost their reading time due to power outage. And that's because when the power goes off, the Wi-Fi automatically goes off. In this digital era, electricity is very important.
Crisis in my community. Luckily, I am here and I came out to the school to speak to the spokesperson of the SGB committee for Algarve. There's no electricity at most of our schools. When I walk through here, I actually couldn't believe it's a different feel when you come here and you see a dark classroom, you see dark offices. How are people meant to operate it? I just came in here now, they have smart boards. None of the smart boards are operating, but let me not continue to share this. What is it? What exactly is happening here?
Alright, so in April of 2025, the Department of Education chose to hand back utility bills to the schools based on whether or not the school was Section 20 or Section 21.
Section 21, explain that to us.
So it's basically, Section 21, it's your business, so you manage everything.
Okay.
Alright, so what they said was...
There is a school in South Africa that over 7,000 students have been affected by the power outage. In Nigeria, most universities have to cut the cost of learning. That is, they just announced the hostel is going to have 4 hours light for today. So that 4 hours light that they're giving to the students is meant for them to charge their phones and their laptops, go to whatever you want to do in the library, go and make your research and everything just within that 4 hours. Because once the power goes off, automatically everything shuts down. Because of that, this is charging the youth a darkness tax. The painful part is, in most areas, there are no lights in Nigeria.
Years, nothing like up NEPA. Make I use my own pikin as example. My child, since when dem born on today, she die in institution, she's in Unica. She don't know that adage. But then they say up NEPA. Make them bring and blink and like this. Nothing like that, and she's 20.
The people of Kwale from Ndukwa West local government area of Delta State don't stay almost 20 years without electricity. The matter bad sote, it affects livelihood, healthcare, businesses and crime matter for the area. Kwale are the headquarters of the local government, and for many of those lost years, they rely on other sources of power generation to survive.
Me personally, don't affect me when I be say I go hospital to go born. I go hospital to go born. I reach there, now candle and lantern, then they use for general hospital for a year. For 2 times, I don't born for general hospital.
And for that state where there is no light, don't they have local government chairmen in that local government? And that brings us to the most annoying issue, the Ban A gamble. Ban A will have light 22 hours, Ban B will have light 20 hours, Ban C will have light 18 hours. And tell me, why should one part have light more than the other? All these categories should end. If they want to give Nigerians light, they should give us light. They don't want to give light, they should also say that they don't want to give light. Not to divide them into groups, making others feel good and the others feel bad.
And which to me is against the Constitution. Because our Constitution is supreme. Section 42 says that you cannot discriminate against Nigerians. When I heard about this, Ban A, Ban 2, Ban B, Ban C, it's discrimination. And it should not be allowed. This is the first time I'm hearing it, that you can get an hour for 20 hours. And somebody will get it too. Supposing you are living among the masses and you can afford to pay for 24 hours. And that is what they are supposed to provide. Besides, this power supply, power distribution company belongs to Nigerians. They just took it like that and then use it to be loading charges on Nigeria.
After he speaks like this, nothing will still happen. As of April 2026, NESA approved another massive hike in electricity bills. For a middle-class family in Johannesburg, they are expected to pay about 2,500 rands to 3,000 rands for just electricity bill. That's out of the roof.
Electricity is increasing with 8%. Also take into account that the fuel is increasing with the highest increase in the history of South Africa. I can think people are stressed. They don't know where to go. They don't know what's the next step. They already were struggling. That's why I say it's always important to have an emergency fund for circumstances.
While South Africans complaining, me friends to say, why are South Africans complaining? They're complaining because they've increased the price of electricity bill in their country.
Is exporting electricity to Togo. But where is that coming from? Togo has expressed interest in increasing electricity imports from Nigeria to meet its growing power demand. But recently, and even for many years, most Nigerians have never had 24/7 power supply in the country. Apparently, Nigeria intends to provide electricity not only for Togo, but for the entirety of ECOWAS countries. People are now wondering how possible it is for a country with electricity issues to provide another country with what it doesn't even have. This plan was announced in a statement by the managing director of Niger Delta Power Holding Company.
As if the price of fuel is not painful enough, Nigeria aims at selling $1 billion by mid-year 2026, and they are selling it to 15 neighboring countries, basically the countries that are under ECOWAS. According to them, they pay in dollars, they pay on time, and they always pay complete. South Africa is still suffering as their only power hub is ESCOM. Even during load shedding, South Africa still has to respect their bilateral agreements to other countries whom they've agreed to supply with electricity. So even if it means that their country should go dark, agreement is agreement, the South African government still argues that exporting revenue is what helps them to repair and to maintain their local grids.
The system has basically worked like this. ESCOM makes the power, ESCOM moves the power, and ESCOM sells the power. One giant state-owned company doing almost everything, which is what people mean when they talk about ESCOM's monopoly. So just last week, the energy regulator, NERSA, think of them like the referee for our electricity. They took the first real step towards breaking that monopolistic model. Now, it wants a future where many different companies can generate their own power and sell it into the grid. And eventually, businesses and big customers can actually choose who they buy from.
Away from South Africa, why is our president, His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, proposing a 7 billion naira on buying solar for the Aso Rock villa? Does this mean that our national grid is not working again?
Power generation companies over 6 trillion naira. That is primarily why you and I have chronically low power supply. Let's do a quick comparative analysis. South Africa produces 34,000 megawatts for 65 million people. That is roughly 523 watts per person. Egypt produces 35,000 megawatts for 120 million people. That's about 292 watts per person. Nigeria delivers just 4,000 megawatts for 240 million people. That means each of us gets about 17 watts, which for context, that amount of electricity can power just a single LED bulb. Nigeria holds the largest natural gas reserves in Africa, yet we are constantly underproducing electricity because the companies meant to produce this electricity are owed trillions of naira by the government.
From students studying with candlelight to the president spending over 7 billion naira on solar panels, the message is very clear. The national grid is no longer enough for everyone in the country. If you were in charge of the $7 billion, would you use it to buy solar panels for Aso Rock Villa, or would you use it to renovate schools? Let's talk in the comment section. Do well to like, do well to share, and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Solid Finance Podcast, for more finance content from us. Until next time, bye for now.